Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've been doing this for a little bit now since I transitioned from the Periscope. Anyways, some updates. So more recently, I just found out I will have to have possibly neck surgery. We did some tests. So let me kind of like catch you up or update you. So 2 years ago, I was working in home care, private duty. So I wasn't in the hospital, but I was working in the homes of patients that, had services with this particular hospital. Anywho, I had been, with this particular client for a while. And this particular day, for some reason, she just like forgot to like use her legs or something. Like she just like froze up and then she just started falling. And my reflex, of course, kicked in. So I'm like trying to grab her. Needless to say, she didn't fall hard or anything. I was able to like get her. She kind of like slid like off the bed, but I was able to like lift her and put her in bed. After all of that had happened, I'm sure my adrenaline was really high at that particular time. I got her in bed. I felt like a pull in my lower back, so I'm like, oh, okay, I immediately called like the on call because that's what you do to let them know if you've injured yourself or whatnot. So I let them know I wasn't able to or would not be able to like lift her up because I, felt something in my back pull. So they sent me home. I then was sent to their, I guess, employee center where they check you out. That's where they usually do like your drug screens and, medical stuff like that. So, of course, I go in 2 days after the incident happened, and, the PA at the time that was on my case was like, we're gonna, do some tests and kind of check you out, see what's happening. So I did the x-ray and then I ended up having to do an MRI. The MRI ended up showing that I had messed up my C3 through 5, I want to say, in my neck. And so that was like, what? I had some bruising from, my lower back from when all of that had happened. And so they put me in physical therapy. They had me see one of the doctors that they recommended me, and then they had me see like this off the wall doctor that I'm assuming they paid on the side to write up a BS report. So then that messed up or ended up putting my workers' comp on like pause or hold or like waiting to like figure out what was the next steps. Appealed and all of that, and last I remember it was pending. Anyways, I got stuck with a bill that was like $2,000 or better for physical therapy because they said, oh, you went over your visits, but this was all supposed to be covered under the workers' comp, but it was not. I also had started to see a chiropractor. A friend of mine had asked me to, get another opinion and maybe, see a chiropractor, see if that would help. And, of course, they would, make notes and stuff like that. So I started seeing them probably September, October ish of the same year that I had, injured myself. I was off and on in physical therapy that entire, rest of the year. I started doing neck injections, which, helped a little bit. It would relieve some of the pressure and pain. But for whatever reason, 2 years later, after this has happened, patient has passed away. I want to say she may have passed away last year or something like that. So, 2 years later, I'm suffering with this same pain that I had when I first injured, myself. So, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to follow up with the doctor because I might need to see like what's going on with my neck. So, of course, we do the same procedure, do x-ray and then do another MRI. Well, the MRI came back and it was not good. It ended up being that my disc has gotten so bad that it is now pushing against my nerves that allow me to use my hand functions. And so basically, the doctor was like, "It's like you really don't know when, but like keep a record of like your, when you have numbness or when your, arms are like, just limb or whatever. Like take record, make notes, kind of journal like the how you are feeling that day, and if you lost balance or any of those factors." So of course I was in tears because I'm like, I need my hands. Like, if they would have been like legs, okay, I can still use my arms to wheel myself and figure out some stuff. I can still feed myself. But when, you have a physician tell you that you could possibly lose your arm function where you can't drive anymore, you can't dress yourself anymore, like you are now just the top of you is not working anymore. That hit in a lot of areas and places. At that point, it's almost like I'm a vegetable because the only thing that would be working maybe is the bottom half of me, and maybe I don't know, like the this part would just be like not functional. Um, and it's so crazy that your nerves and the skeleton in itself is such a fragile thing, and if for any part of the body to like get injured, whether it's your neck, your back, your skull, however it looks, like whatever the injury is, like this is like a real deal thing. Like if you can't use certain things or you can't function, like it does something to you. So right now we are trying to figure out how much time I have before it just is to the point where it's too late to fix it. I thought 2 years later that this would have healed on its own, that my disc would have, went back into its place, especially from doing chiropractor, doing the physical therapy, doing stuff after that to try to just be a functional human being. To go to that is, it's a serious thing. Sorry, I'm moving because I want to share with you some of the pamphlets that they kind of gave me. So, anyways, this is one of the pamphlets that the PA gave me, and this is kind of what the object looks like. It has like teeth that kind of goes in between your bones, so it would look like this. This is the gadget when they take it loose. There has been people probably in their 30s, mid 30s, that have gotten this procedure done. I still, of course, have questions and some concerns. And then, this is what, you would be technically kind of looking at if you had a disc that was normal in your body. Of course, they have different ones. So they have a fused one, which the fused one, thank God I don't have to have that, but that's what the fused would look like at the top. The top picture would be like the fused, and it would be limited motion of the neck, I believe. So yeah, they gave me some different pamphlets to kind of read upon and kind of understand. I talked to one of my coworkers who had neck surgery to kind of like see how they felt about it. And 2 years ago, they had the surgery. They just basically said, do what the doctors say and don't smoke. If you can follow those directions, you'll be, good to go. Thankfully, I'm not a smoker, like cigarette smoker. In the past, yeah, I've, had a little weed here and there, but I'm not like a true person that do tree like that. I don't. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't like. I don't get any thrills from it. Some people they get a nice little high. Some people it calms their nerves. I think the most that it does is that it helps me stay focused for exams. Like I can actually focus on the question and it's not like a thousand, it doesn't seem like the words are like every which way scattered on a paper. Like I can actually read the question and answer it without second guessing myself. But that's about it. That's all it does for me. And it could be because I have ADHD and taking a test and having anxiety is really bad for me. So to, have something that kind of mellows me when I'm taking a test, you know, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It depends, I guess, on the mood too and the chemicals in my body. But for me, I like a glass of wine and I'm cool. And I like to be chilled and I don't want all the extra stuff. I just want to be chilled. Of course, I have been trying to do the natural way of allowing it to heal, but it just has not been successful. And I can tell, and I have noticed it more and more since I have had to increase work hours. And you guys and gals know me as the person that is always kind of like multitasking, having multiple things happening at the same time, whether that's a job, school, life, family, whatever, relationships. And so it has been a ride, it's been a journey. So, 2 years later, it's kind of like I'm bummed out a little because it's so much. And I think, one thing that I do miss about my ex, Ephraim, is that when it came to like my health and stuff, like he was like literally there. He was very supportive. He was like, what we gotta do, we gotta eat this type of food. You're gonna do this, this, and this. We're gonna do some exercise. Like he was that person. Almost like the little mini coach or something, like he was like, okay, we gonna get you better. You can't be, sick and the weakling. And that was his strength. But, moving into like 24 into 25, like to have to like do a lot of this stuff, with my mom and the stuff that's she's been having to deal with and go through, and then my stepdad, worries her where he gets confused when he come back from dialysis and all of this stuff, and his memory is starting to go, and it's just like it's a back and forth. Some days I might get an hour of sleep, some days I might not get nothing. And I pretty much, sleep deprivated because of everything else that is happening. I'm always making sure everybody else is good, and then I'm like the last person to take care of me. So now it's more like I have to focus on that and focus on my health and try to get better. I'm very scared about the surgery, but I put it in God's hands to protect the surgeons that go in there if this is what it has to be. And then fast forward some more, I have also been trying to find something less intense with, being at the computer, 12 and 8-hour days because I'm at a computer just about at both jobs. And it's getting tiresome. I'm getting tired. My body is getting tired. So I don't know what this, will turn into, but only God knows, the end story for, a lot of stuff that happens the reason it happens, why stuff get paused, why stuff get pushed back, why things, happen in different orders compared to what you thought it should have been. Like, the story is never how you think it's supposed to be. So even though you think you're writing your story, sometimes that story just kind of it finagles some stuff here and there. It might, you know, 1 minute, yeah, it's on the right track. Next minute, oh no, girl, listen, it ain't gonna be this time around. It's gonna be 6 months later. Oh, maybe 2 years later. So you just don't have like that. You can see in front of you, like that future ball that just shows you like this is what's gonna happen next. We don't have that. We just have present and past. And we try to stay out of the past, but sometimes we go back in there. Sometimes it'll be reminiscent of different things that upset you and make you upset. And then you be like, man, why am I even thinking about this? This is ridiculous. And then you got, fast forward, you in the future and you done accomplished, a lot of things in your present time. So when the future comes, you can be prepared for that next step. And we don't know what that next step is. And though I would like to be able to, in 5 years say I'm a PA and look how long it took me to get to this part or this point. I did apply to a doctorate's program, health science, with the University of Pacific. The program's supposed to start in the spring of next year, but I don't even know if I'm gonna go or not. Still debating about it because I'm just like between trying to find classes and how to pay for them. Like this is like the only option I have is like I would have to like get in a program that's going to, be somewhat easy, and then I still can somehow pay for my classes because trying to pay for them on my own and out of pocket right now is like looking like a no-go. I could probably pay for like a couple, but like the other ones that is probably needed probably is not gonna happen. And then on top of that, I still have to like schedule my exam for the GRE sometime next year and try to like fit everything, in place. At the same time, it's like, do you want to do this now? Like, like it's so much stuff that is happening right now that it's like, when is a good time to do anything? Because nothing it seems like there's any room for a good time right now. Like everything seems like it's so booked up. Everything seems like it has to be delayed or it has to be pushed back or something has to be done. Then you just be thinking like, I'm supposed to be like trying to get stuff organized. At the same time, now I can't do that because if, you know, I'm gonna have to be down some more months. And then you got physical therapy and all this other stuff that you have to do. And it just be like, what? You gotta be kidding me. And I'm somewhat of a big baby, but at the same time I try not to be a big baby when I have surgeries. I've only had my foot surgery, my hernia surgery, which was my belly button, and then when I had my myomectomy, which was to remove fibroids, and then eventually we found out I had endometriosis, and and that surgery was the worst out of the other two that I had. That was thus far the worst surgery that I had ever experienced, and it scared me to the point that I was like, the doctors don't even know what they're doing, and then you want me to sit up here and say you can play with my neck? Looking a little crazy right now. I don't know. Let me get another opinion. Let me try to talk it out and see if this is what I would like to do. Like, what is the rate of your successful stories? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many surgeries have you done and been very successful? How many, have not had to come back and redo this? So, just having all of these questions and trying to like keep it together, it's very, very, very hard right now. But like I said, I gave it to God to do what he do best. He is the author of everybody's story, and he knows what he be doing. Sometimes you be like, I don't understand this, but if it means that less pain and less having to, be aggravated, having like this whole, like when I say my whole back feel like it's so stressed out, it's like it's stressing. Like it's so tensed up, and even when I go get a massage, like it's just still like it'll be relaxed for a hot second and then be back tense. It'd be like I'm freaking 10. Like when I say I have been like trying to take stuff to calm it down, even the stuff that I'm taking is not even helping. And I'm just like, oh God, like this is ridiculous. Like I'm in pain this time around. Like, and I don't complain about pain too often, but when I say pain, just to move my neck, pain when I turn it a certain way, pain like in my shoulder area, the back, center of the back hurt, like all of it just hurts. And I'm just like, Lord, what in the world? And then it doesn't help when, you stay in a country that you can barely afford to pay bills without having more than one job. Or, it's just like so hard to even maneuver anywhere without you having more than one job. Because most of the jobs, they want you to have experience, they want you to have this, they want you to have that, and then you have most of the things that they want, and then it's that one thing that you don't have. You don't have a certification, you don't have the work hours, you don't have, or you didn't have this and this. You don't have enough years. You don't have. It's always what you don't have. And it's not, let me try to give you a chance. Let me open up the door and see what you can do. Let me see if you can add value to my company. Let me see if you can, you know, go over here and do that. So, so you got all of these obstacles against you, then being a woman, and then I am minority because I am a black woman. It's even harder because you are working harder all the time. You're working harder just to get noticed a lot of times. And it's just a challenge to, sit there and just be like, Lord, can I get a break sometimes? Then when you get a break, girl, you damn near about to die. Like, you're gonna have to get this like now. What? Now you gotta sit down for real. Then when you sit down, you be like, so who paying my bills? Cause when I start working, yeah, I got my first job, but my second job stops. So then I still gotta figure out how to make income. Like I might can cover what, maybe two checks, maybe a check, 40 hours, and then that's it. Or 20 some hours, and then that's it. So I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm just trying to find the equilibrium behind how to make everything work out without being too stressed out. And I have just learned that you can only do so much. So you might as well just let it go and let God. Like the other day, like it was an emotional day. My other coworker, same with her. Like it was an emotional day because we had news that was just like, for her, this is something that she's been, trying to get. For me, this was something I was trying to avoid. So it was like both of us being emotional and teary eye was just like, what is happening here? Like and y'all mind, you be like, you was too young to be going through this and this, or you too young to be, but I always have told people, you are never too young to go through something that somebody older went through. It's kids that are going through adult stuff. You know, like when I was a kid growing up, like I would see kids my age going through, cancer and tumors and surgeries and heart surgeries and heart problems, and they trying to get it fixed, and it was organs wasn't working properly, and so the doctor got to figure out how to get them to work, and sometimes they was in ICU and things like that. And then, you get older and older and you're like, oh my gosh, I get it now. But when you was younger and growing up, you like, my body don't hurt, nothing, like what? Like what, why are you hurting? Why can't you run? Why can't you do this? Like once your brain has developed enough to be like, okay, you're gonna have to slow down because what you thought was fast when you were younger, now it's slowing you all the way down. The stuff that you used to do, slowing you down because you don't even have the energy to do it because you either working a lot, uh, you have exhausted all energy because you are helping family, taking care of people, whether it's family or not, working multiple jobs because you gotta make ends meet and pay bills and try to feed yourself all in that income. Then you get in more debt because you want to educate yourself. So then you're like, okay, well, if I educate myself, like maybe I can get a better job. But then that don't be the case. You still be like struggling, like, why can I not get a halfway decent job? So again, I interviewed for several different positions. One of which I thought I was going to get, but I thought it was part time, and then I found out it was full time. And just about all of them ended up being full time, needless to say. So I was just like I need something like 7 p.m. to maybe 11 or 12 at night, and then I can go home. I don't need, or I just need a good remote job that would, be part time that I could just like knock out some hours and I'd be good. Because right now I'm trying to do these other type of jobs is just not hitting right. And then I used to do, grocery deliveries, but like I said, with my foot having surgery and stuff, that kind of like slowed me down. So then I stopped doing that. And then of course, then I got this neck injury, and so like a lot of stuff that I used to do or like doing, like I had to pretty much, it was like I had to stop. And it's just, and so I don't know, it's just one thing after another, but we will get through it. We have faith. We believe that what is for us is for us, and you know, and go from there. But I just wanted to give y'all a heads up about what was happening. These last couple of weeks has been really crazy. But yeah, I've interviewed a couple places, but they were no goes, or I was pretty much, they didn't want to say it, but I was like overqualified. So it was just like, but I don't know. We'll keep trying, and if nothing comes up, we'll just try to bite the bullet until as far as I can go. And if the accommodation comes through and they approve it, then at least I get 6 months of that. I mean, of course, I still have to figure out about this other situation and surgery and this next situation and trying to get that back better. And the rest is pretty much what it is. Maybe I'll start my doctor's program in the spring doing health science, and so it can at least help me get some of these classes because I don't know how else to like pay for classes right now. Like I can't get it through work, so like I'm pretty much on my own. Of course, there's been conversation about like what kind of program and where can you go, and all of the local schools, pretty much, if you don't have a 3.0, like, they don't want you. Um, I said Midwest, that's pretty much everywhere. Only a couple, areas will take like a 2.7. Um, but like you have to work your butt off for real. Even with me doing posts, back courses and everything like that, like I still don't even have enough to like make it work itself out. So like literally I would basically be taking over a good 5 to 6 classes over with lab. And classes are expensive. Like they not cheap. They expensive. So I am trying to find, and then God, for the last couple appointments, I have missed my reevaluation for one of the schools so I can get my testing accommodation back up to date. Not on purpose. Like it has literally either slipped my mind or I didn't get the link or I just forgot to look back in the email. So hopefully tomorrow will work out. I will make sure that I am logged into my email so that I can click on the link and do this meeting that has been about 2 or 3 weeks of trying to get scheduled and I have missed them. So I am very hopeful that tomorrow I will make the appointment. Plus, it's a little bit earlier. Hopefully, I can, it registers in my head, and it should. So I just have to, kind of keep reminding myself, put a note somewhere in my face to say, hey, don't forget this meeting. Hey, this meeting is happening because the it's been a lot on my brain. So trying to process everything and trying to keep up with everything and appointments and doctor's appointments and this, that, and what Zoom meeting I'm supposed to be in, and it just sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. Sometimes I think my focus just kind of drifts off and Speedy Gonzalez or something and it runs off. But yeah, other than that, I go back to do the appointment on the 31st. I do have a second opinion that's coming up on the 21st of this month. And from now until the only thing that I guess that is kind of freaking me out is like where they would have to cut me at. So there's a couple of options. They can either do the back of my neck or they can do like somewhere in the slit of my jaw area or right here. Either way it goes, like the vocal box and all of that, like all of that, you know, can accidentally be hit. And then on top of that, like also, you know, thinking about the spinal cord and the bones in the neck area, and that is very everything in that area is going to be very sensitive probably, or is definitely a complex area that you have to know what you are doing. And even talking to like one of my coworkers about them having surgery 2 years ago for something similar, same reason, I guess, I don't know. It was just like follow what the doctor tell you to do and don't do this and you will be fine. So it just, yeah, it's like one of those things that you just be like, wow, what? And then I was asking my mom, we had a conversation. I asked her, I said, Mom, how old was you when you had your back surgery, your first one? She was like, I was in my 40s. And I was like, oh my God, like you was young. 40 something, like you should not be worried about or having no major surgeries like a back surgery or a neck surgery. Like I'm literally almost 40 and I'm about to have surgery on my neck just because of the type of job that I was doing. And and then to think like all of the things that the doctor was saying, and you're like, God, what is happening right now? Like I literally just graduated, got my master's, And now you're telling me that I might not be able to use my hands. I might not be able to do stuff for myself. Like, wait a minute. What? We gotta do better. So, if you have a hurting, at least go check it out. Get it checked out. Don't wait till it's too late. Go get it checked out. Make sure your body is healthy, that you are healthy mentally, and pray and just be, faithful and trusting that whatever God wants to be is for you and you can handle it. And so until next time, thank you again for subscribing or checking out my videos. I will, try to touch bases with you probably at the end or early November to kind of give you an update on what has been decided, if we're going to go with surgery or if we're going to try to weigh it out, or we're going to try to do some more natural, situations. But we definitely need hands. These hands do a lot of good things, like massage some feet real good, back real good. No, I'm not a massage therapist, but for some reason, my hands, I can do wonders with these lovely hands. Because sometimes I just have to massage my feet. Sometimes I massage my hands and arms or something like that. And, not to be able to do that anymore, that definitely would drive me crazy. And plus, I don't want to, be a burden on my mom either. I don't want to, no, I would not want to live like that. At that point, I would probably just, I don't know, probably just have her put me in a nursing home or something. I don't know. Because I would not want her to have to take care of me like that. And my mom is, 70, about to be 71 in November. Like, I don't want no more stress on her than she already got. She got a husband that, has dementia, and to not be able to, function or do anything for myself, that would just be like, oh wow, like I can't drive, I can't do much, I can't feed myself, I can't dress myself anymore like that. No, I would not want that. So that's why I'm, trying to do my research on this next surgery and make sure it's the best options and try to ask as many questions and get as many answers as possible, and and really just go from there. And I need my left hand because I write with this hand, child. Look, this hand right here do some wonders for writing, but this right hand, I can snap my fingers. I can cut with my right hand. I I can probably drive more with the right hand than my left hand. Um, However, with it being some pain in that shoulder area, like my left hand has been taken over, but I don't want to tire the left hand out or arm out either. So, just trying to balance everything, get everything how it's supposed to be. But yeah, like I'll definitely try to touch bases sometime early November, or if I do have time, I'll try to like message on Halloween, which that is my aunt's, rest her soul, her birthday. She would have been, I think, 77 or 78, somewhere around there. She would have been up there. Um, and so, yeah, it's definitely um, some things that I'm, thinking about. And, and I wouldn't want to put nobody else through that, having to take care of me and have to bathe me. And I can't, really move around as much. And, so it's definitely some life changes that will be happening, of course. I have kind of slowed down on the exercise, but I was, biking, walking, walked Bella one time, and she got too tired. But I've pretty much, have started to like do more activities to like try to get my bones in motion again. And what I really, really love is tennis. What I really, really would like to do is I would like to be able to jump rope and do the normal things that most people do. And just making sure like when I do decide however this is gonna look, and just I would prefer not to have a big scar, but it looked like every scar that I have on my body has a story. From my belly to my toe, um, and then eventually I guess it'll be my neck. So I guess that's my tattoos. The cuts and the after effect that had on me, mentally, emotionally. Like I said, the myomectomy was one of the hardest ones on me, and then to have to argue with the doctor and tell him like, dude, like something is wrong, and then you have to go back in there and you find out your mistake, and then you go fix it, and then you try to brush it under the rug. Nah, man, that's terrible. Like, don't do that. And guess what? Worked at the same hospital I got hurt at. Now, how ironic is that? One of the two is gonna have to end up doing something for me. And I tell you what, like my livelihood with it being, at the rate that it's going, like I could never get half of the stuff that I should have if I had to go through this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of different things that will happen, a lot of different life changes that probably will happen, so definitely we'll have that talk and take some time to think about it and see, when and how it should happen. Even thinking about trying to do it. And that's the thing, it's like so much stuff is supposed to be planned in January, February, that I was like, if I do it now, it's a lot. It's a lot to process for sure. But again, like I said, thank you for, checking my page out, following me, seeing what's new with my life and what's going on. The good, the bad, sad, happy, goofy, whatever moments that we've had together. If you know me on Periscope, then you knew that a couple of them parties was a little wild. But we was grown ups and we was doing what we had to do to get our little fun in. But I tell you, it definitely has been a transition to, do this platform, and, just pray for me, continue to try to support and be there for, different situations with people that you may run into, like I always say, be nice and kind to one another. Until next time, ciao.